What's up, everybody? It's your boy Bo Knows Best, and you're tuned in to the Real Trill TV. Now, I just want to give my opinion on the Charlie Kirk situation real quick, and I ain't finna linger and get no whole breathy lecture or nothing. I'm nothing like that. This is all I want to say. All right, a lot of people being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying, over the man's death, and at the same time, though, you get to feel however you get to feel. Same way he got to say whatever he wanted to say, and the repercussions come behind it. You know, somebody shooting. That's terribly wrong. That ain't right in no way, form, or fashion. However, on the flip side of that coin, I can't say that him having this opinion, him feeling the way he feel is wrong or right, and then a person responds to it. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that it's wrong or right. Me personally, as a man, as my own man, I'm 42 years old. I don't need nobody to stand up, speak for me, feel for me, none of that. I do it all on my own. But anyway, as a man, you know what I'm saying, I don't feel like, no man should be gunned down in front of nobody. Even though his wife and children were there, that's even extra terrible, but he shouldn't have been gunned down in front of a stranger, you know what I mean? Not for simply having an opinion. If somebody is trying to attack you, harm you, bring harm to you or your family or anybody else, and you want to, save them, then that's one thing. You stand up and you do what you got to do to protect, your loved ones or innocent bystander or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side of that coin, though, I can't be mad at people expressing how they feel. You know what I'm saying? In whatever way they feel like they need to express. And people want to be disrespectful, and be disrespectful. It's the world we live in. That's just the way things go. I can't stop that. You know what I'm saying? And do nothing about that. That's on everybody in their body. But I'm gonna say this though. I'm from DeRidder, Louisiana, which is a small town down here in the South. And if you know anything about the South, you know we got racism, right? I'm 42 years old, so I grew up in the 80s, you know what I mean? In the early 90s, I was here, you know what I'm saying? I say that to say this. Somebody sitting on a stage under a tent, speaking their mind, is not racism, even though what they may be saying sounds racist. You know what I'm saying? For me, racism is the boys that got hung, right? Racism is the police department that's saying that they suspect no foul play, and that's racism. That's blatant racism. That's what that is. Because you're trying to cover up, and I get why they doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to prevent a race war, which we're on the verge of. If you're not paying attention to what's going on, then, you know what I mean? A lot of my life was spent in prison, incarcerated, right? So I got to see racism in there also, from a different aspect. But I learned this, and I watched this one time. I remember one time, the police put on this movie, called Rosewood. And I remember the white boys running to the bars, screaming for the guards to come out and turn the movie off, because they felt like we would kill them in there, you know what I mean, by watching the movie. And as crazy as that is, though, that's certain things, that's certain stuff people do, you know what I'm saying, to try and, kick up bullshit. So what Charlie Kirk did, I don't feel like what the things he spoke on, even though, like I say, in Natick, the shit can sound racist, but at the same time, what I feel like dude was really doing was putting a mirror in front of niggas' faces. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of people still waiting on reparations. Man, we ain't getting no reparations. Let's start there. That's first and foremost. Ain't no reparations coming. But there's something I always thought was funny too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want reparations from slavery. But I guarantee you, very few people can tell you one family member in their family that was actually a slave. You know what I'm saying? During slavery. You know what I'm saying? So you want reparations for what a stranger went through. That you never even took the time out of your life to even learn about. But you want something from what that person endured. Make that make sense. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? See, the way I was raised, I was raised to believe that whatever I did on my own is what I was gonna get in return. You know what I mean? So if I went out and worked and got my bread, then I was gonna get the bread because that's what I worked for. You know what I'm saying? If I sold dope for many years. You know what I'm saying? As an adult, I did 13 years and 9 months incarcerated. I wasted a lot of my life behind bars. True life story. My DLC number 4600495. I remember it like I ain't been to prison in like 5 years, a little bit over 5 years. But I remember that number. I'm gonna die knowing that number. If I live to see 150, I'm gonna die knowing 4600495. But my point in saying that is this: we receive reparations for what we work for. You know what I mean? That's not to say that don't nobody deserves it. Would I love to receive something from whatever ancestor of mine that was enslaved? Of course, right? You know what I'm saying? Anything. You know, I'm at the end of the day, I'm a nigga like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I would love to see reparations from something they ain't got to work for. You know what I'm saying? Do I feel like I'm entitled to it? No. I don't feel like I'm entitled to anything I haven't put in the work for. Feeling like I was entitled to things I didn't put in the work for is what led me to stay stuck into the streets. You know what I'm saying? About 20 years of my life was spent focused on doing street shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these youngsters, you know, we say they on demon time, and this, that, and another, and we glorify, especially in the hip hop community, we glorify free Honeycomb Brazy. Saying that because I know a lot of people feel about Honeycomb Brazy, but I'm gonna say free Honeycomb Brazy. I love the boy music. It speaks to my soul, the youth to me. You know what I'm saying? The younger me. You know what I'm saying? But it's all for entertainment now. You know what I'm saying? I take that all with entertainment now. My mind ain't focused on, you know, trying to harm nobody. Now, Charlie Kirk did say a lot of stuff that could be perceived as racist. And maybe he was racist. Let's say he was racist. But I'm gonna tell you like this here. If I see a nigga with a hoodie on at the store, and I see Charlie Kirk at the store, the last person I'm gonna be thinking about, worried about harming me, is Charlie Kirk. But that nigga in that hoodie just might be. You know what I'm saying? And we designed that. It's just, you know, that's just the way my mind is. I can't help but think that. I don't see a white man and see a threat, even though I was raised in the South. White boys that passed by me in trucks, yelled out nigga and all kinds of shit, kept on, you know, kept it moving. But even though I didn't experience shit like that, I don't see a white boy and feel like, oh, he finna harm me. However, now lately, I don't know what the fuck to think or feel about the world, cause shit going crazy right now. Niggas is getting hung, all this, that, and another shit. That shit ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? And it most definitely ain't cool once you find out a man the same race as Charlie Kirk is who they're saying is responsible for killing. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that man did it or not. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? But from what we're seeing in the media, it was a man the same race as Charlie Kirk who murdered him. Why are there being threats towards HBCUs and black people being hung? I don't understand that. None of that making sense. You know what I'm saying? Is it directly tied into Charlie Kirk, or was Charlie Kirk just the catalyst, just the thing that a person was waiting for to, you know, come back out? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I've been hiding these racist feelings. Now y'all gave me a reason. I'm gonna ride with them. I don't know, but I'm gonna tell y'all, everybody, y'all move safe, be careful, and you know what I'm saying, try and be mindful of what you say. And if you're gonna say something that you know gonna ruffle the feathers of other people, protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? If I was Charlie Kirk, God honest truth, and I'm a big guy. I'm a pretty big guy, and I hold my own. I don't feel no man. You know what I'm saying? But I learned something a long time ago that I didn't know from the beginning, because I ain't never had a dad, right? And I lost my big brother, you know what I'm saying, when I was 14 years old. So I never really had a man to really guide me and tell me, like, hey, you don't do this, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But being a black man growing up, the community taught me this. That as a black man, I had to move more calculated. I had to be more careful. Then as I grew up and I started gaining size and I started getting bigger, now I'm a big black nigga. So instantly people see me as a threat. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to know me, you get to know that I'm really actually a cool cat. You know what I'm saying? I be chilling. I don't really mind nobody else business. I'm not all with the messy shit. We not finna sit and talk about nobody. I don't do none of that. That don't do nothing for me, right? So it's kind of like not to really touch on, because I'm gonna touch on this later, but the whole thing with Young Thug right now, and the talking on the phones. I ain't never talked on the phones with no nigga, no female, no none of that. You know what I'm saying, about somebody else. I ain't never. That's just not what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? People that done me super dirty. It's just that's just not me. That ain't my style. But at the same time, you gotta realize everybody get to say whatever they want to say. I mean, everybody get to talk about whatever they want to talk about. We can say Thug was wrong for what he said or who he's saying it about, but at the end of the day, everybody gets an opinion. Now, the thing about a lot of shit, niggas say whatever. When we behind bars, niggas will say whatever, you know what I'm saying, to make the next person feel like it's not a threat.